Welcome to another episode of First Past the Post podcast. I'm delighted to say I'm joined with my mate Liam again. Liam, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, all good. And delighted to say we're joined by a very special guest tonight, champion apprentice jockey Marco Ghiani is joining us tonight on the podcast. Marco, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. We're delighted to say that we've got you on tonight. Thank you for coming to join us.
No worries. Thank you to you.
Brilliant. So yeah, we'll get straight into it. Just obviously tell us a bit about your background into racing. Obviously coming from Italy, being at such a young age. How did you get into racing?
Well, obviously I was doing a really hard tradition here in Oristano called Sartiglia, and it's 500 years old and a little bit more. And obviously I was doing like the leading rider in 2014, and my horse slept on the drain and my horse fall. A 6-time champion jockey in Italy, Dario Vargio, just texted me and saying how brave I was to go back on the horse. And I just started looking into him, who he was. And I found out there was horse racing, and I applied for the racing school as I like really much. And I thought I can make out as a job. And then, went to racing school, went to Luca Comani, and then when he retired, I went to Stuart Williams. And I also been in America for Brendan Walsh and in Australia for Matt Cumani. When I went to Stuart, I just started winning, and here I am now.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned there, Luca Comani as well. I mean, how did that come about? How did that move happen for you to go and work with him?
Well, obviously he was Italian. I know he was one of the top trainers, so I thought it would be nice to go and work for him, and obviously gave my license and my first 10 rides.
So it was when you was younger, did you watch much horse racing, or just
I
as
didn't
you got
know
older?
the existence of it.
Oh.
So,
yeah, I just thought they could be like palios, but actually when the champion jockey texted me and I started looking into him, I found out there was lots of race course and race horses, and obviously I tried to get at the racing school in Italy, but obviously there wasn't one at the time. So I had to find something else, and I found the racing school in Newmarket.
So there was no family, your family, there was no background in racing whatsoever then? It was all new to you?
Yeah, nobody rode before me in my family, except the granddad of my granddad. So
okay.
It was a really whole
new experience, yeah.
Just touching there on Stuart Williams and Luca Comani, like you said, obviously some big names. Who would you say's been the one or a couple of them being the biggest influence on your career?
Well, definitely Stuart Williams. He gave me a lot. He gave me a lot of ride and lots of winner, and he always support me and teach me a lot. I'm really thankful for him. I'm really pleased.
And you mentioned that you went over to America. I mean, how did that link come around? And how was the experience going out there and working out over in the US? Yeah,
obviously, I was having a good season in my second year, and because I lost my 5-pound claim in 2 months, so I just said, I'm gonna stop you for the winter to go to America and get a little bit more experience. But obviously when I came back, I rode for a week, and then COVID kicked on, and there was no racing, and I lost a bit of connection, but I cashed them back now, and it worked really well.
Just touching on COVID, how difficult was that for you as a jockey dealing with COVID? Did everything sort of shut down, all operations, or?
Yeah, it did. I just was allowed to ride in the morning, but obviously you couldn't travel, so you can't go in the other cities to ride work for other trainers. And we're just at Stuart Williams, and because of that, I just lost a bit of connection, and it take a little while to get them back.
And as your racing career started, do you remember who your first winner was? What horse? How did the ride go? Your first winner?
My first winner was on Lunar Deity for Stuart Williams. He was a 10-year-old, and I was draw one over a mile and a quarter at Linfield, and I just jump out and I see behind the pace and coming off the bend, the last two furrow, I just swing him out, and I smack him twice, and he picked up really well, and he won by a length and a half. It was the best day ever.
Just leading on from that, you say your first winner. What was your favourite winner of your career? Obviously, I know you had the big win at Royal Ascot. Would you say that or another one?
Definitely it's a nice horse. So he gave me lots of memories, and I really love him. So I think all the three winners with him was the best ones, and probably was the Hunt Cup.
And that was obviously a big achievement. And obviously working and riding for Saeed bin Saror, did that opportunity, how did that come around as well? Working for one of the best trainers going, really. He's got so many top horses.
He did, yeah. And obviously I had nearly a full card at Brighton, and they had a horse, and there was no one drop on it. And my agent just asked if I can ride for them, and he did, and I did, and I won on it. And after that, they just gave me a few more rides, and I keep winning on them. And obviously Real World was 50-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it was a bit unexpected, but the trainer was pretty confident, and and I won on him, and then it just became a friend.
Outside of racing, do you follow any other sports, or do you have any sporting heroes inside and outside of racing?
No,
who did you look up to?
Definitely not outside racing, except my dad. I was a runner, so I used to go running with him, and it was pretty good, but it was nothing too much,
And this is going back a bit, but obviously with Luca Comani, I read before, were you actually a groom and a rider for him as well?
Yeah, I was just starting riding, so I was really useless. I think I fell off like 14 times in a month when I started working for him. I wasn't good, but it teach me a lot. It teach me everything.
Obviously, you must have learned a lot there, and with Stuart Williams and going over to America, did you get anything taught that was different to you over in America compared to over in England?
Yeah, definitely how to make a pace. In America they work with the clock, so you need to to follow the times, and it teach me a lot about the pace.
Yeah.
But obviously still William teach me a lot about racing, like race riding. When at Cumani, it's learn more about how to gallop and get close to it.
And obviously Stuart Williams, you must know him so well. What's he like as a trainer and as a man as well to have a relationship with? Is he a really top bloke?
I really like Stuart. He's a really nice person. He always, you can do anything you want, like to please him. That he's never like too much happy about it. He always will find the thing that you did wrong, and he show you, and that's why I became what I am now, because he find this little thing that try to correct me.
Yeah, obviously last season, the champion apprentice jockey, massive achievement. Do you already have any goals for next season? Any other goals?
I got 17 more winners to get to 100 before the end of the year, so I will try that, and obviously I will try to, I will try for the winner to be champion jockey on the weather, if if that is possible. But I will try my best and see what happens.
Obviously, you're still only 20. You're 22, right? 22.
Yeah.
And a few years ago, could you ever imagine that you'd be champion apprentice already, being that young?
No. I never knew it. It's been a surprise, and I'm really pleased with that. And I'm really, really happy.
And obviously, with being a jockey, I'm sure there's a lot of challenges that come your way as well. I mean, I remember not so long ago last year, you had that bad injury after being falling off that horse. I mean, how did you come back from that? And was it a challenging time experiencing something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to ride and I wanted to be, champion apprentice. So obviously, there was real world running 9 days after, so I did everything I could, to go back as soon as I can.
What advice would you give to any young people who want to become a jockey or get into racing? What would you advise them to do?
Just, if you like it, just do it and just keep your head down and your mouth shut and work hard.
And is there anything that's, what's sort of like the worst part of the job? I'm sure there's a lot of early mornings that you start off in the morning, early starts. Is that the worst thing, part of being a jockey?
No, that's not really, but it's not that bad. I think the bad bit is when you still being an apprentice and you still do evening stable and you have to go every evening to mark them out. And if you are racing, you come back in time, you can just go in and feed them. I think that was, it's not the hardest part, but you feel like you don't want to do it,
Yeah.
But obviously you have to do it and keep your head down and it will pay off.
And is there any jockeys that you sort of get on with the most? Who's your sort of best mate in fellow jockeys? Is there anyone that you really get on with?
I really get on with Ray Dawson and Kieran Fallon, Stefano Kirky, Andrea.
Yeah,
like most of them I get on well.
And what are they like? Obviously, like Andrea there, you mentioned him. Obviously, I mean, he's one of the best jockeys around, and obviously being fellow Italian as well. I mean, him and Frankie Dettori, have you had many opportunities to chat with them in the past before, you won the Apprentice champion?
Yeah, definitely. Andrea is not that much older than me, and, we got, a good relationship, and obviously, we can go racing together, go out for dinner when, Frank is much older than me, and obviously he's the top, and, it's a bit harder to get close to him, but when I see him at the race, we talk and we laugh, and, it's just normal.
I'm sure you're aware, a lot of people compare you to Frankie Dettori, say you're the next Frankie Dettori. Does that put pressure on you, or do you use it as motivation to go on and have a successful career like him?
I will try my best, to get a quarter of what he done, but obviously if I can get more, I will. But I always say to them, there is one Frankie and there is one Marcus, so we'll see what I can do.
And is there any one horse that you would say is sort of the best horse you've ridden, apart from Real World and Ascot? Is there any horse that you really feel is, the best horse you've actually ridden in the past?
No, I never rode a horse like same as him.
It's Real World, yeah.
I mean, what was so special about him? Like, did you feel anything? Obviously, working with him before the race, but did you feel that when you got on him, he was just different to what you've ridden before?
He definitely is a different horse at home than what he is at the race course.
All right.
He just gave me, good memories, and I really love him, and he set me up in level. So really, grateful to him as well. I think it's been a big help in my career, and when you live this moment, is the best thing in your life. So I think it's the most I love.
Do you have a favorite race course you like riding at? Is there a specific one you prefer, or?
I really like Ascot and Yarmouth.
Yeah, Yarmouth.
Yeah. And is there any one horse as well that you could give us and our listeners to that you think is what one to look out for? You think that could be quite an exciting horse in the future?
This is hard, but it takes a long time to get a good horse. Like, I really rode so many 2-year-olds before, and I couldn't think they would be, much good. And then when they get, 4-year-old or 5-year-old, they turn up their, group horses. But it all depends the horse, how he feel. But at the moment, I didn't feel anything to get so good.
Is there any particular horses from the past that you would like to ride if you was younger?
Golden Hour.
Yeah.
Good. And if you could ride any one horse from the present, who would it be?
Eureka Lane.
Yeah, good horse, very good horse.
And obviously, just touching back to Saeed bin Sarur, was there any opportunity you've been allowed to work with him like abroad, or has it just all been over here in England?
Well, they haven't asked me to go, and they didn't mention anything, but I'm sure if they got anything for me, they will let me know, and I will be going.
And your aspirations, is there any one race that you'd love to win, and why? I
think it really be like BS Cup Classic or Epsom Derby.
Yep.
Yeah. And going abroad, is there any, in the future, is there any, maybe you're not sure yet, but is there any opportunity that you know of that you might be able to go to the US and ride in maybe like Breeders' Cup or big races or the Arc, or is there any races like that you'd could be opportunities there?
Well, I don't know, but I really hope so. And obviously in this Breeders' Cup I won't be riding, but hopefully I will try to find something for next year.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a brilliant opportunity, wouldn't it, to go abroad and experience big races out there. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, now obviously, just finishing it up, your aspirations now, is it just to get as many winners? I mean, I know you mentioned there to get 17 more. I mean, but for next year going on, is it looking to get that, ultimate goal of being champion jockey?
Yeah, definitely try to be champion jockey on the weather first, as I'm gonna be riding all winter. And yeah, I think if I can get that, it's gonna be a big help for the summer, and we'll see what's gonna happen. But I think I need to have a goal to keep me focused more on what I can be.
Is that a surface you prefer riding on for all weather?
I prefer the grass. I think it's much easier and safer, but obviously on the weather I did really well, so
yeah,
I don't mind it.
And I mean, just touching on because we were actually at Kempton Park last night, and Oisin Murphy won 4 races out of the 8. I mean, how well do you think he's doing? And obviously, is his sort of success pushing your motivation to think I can reach what he's achieving?
Well, Oisin is a champion, and he's a really good one to look at. But I think he got a really own style that's really hard to copy.
Because he's just he's on fire, isn't he? Every sort of week you see Oisin getting winners. I mean, It must be your motivation and think I really want to end up getting as many winners.
Definitely, it's always nice when you beat him.
Yeah.
Definitely nice.
And yeah, I mean, Liam, is there anything else you want to ask? Or?
No, that was great. Thank you for coming on, Marco, and hope you enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Yeah. Yeah, we really appreciate your time, Marco, and yeah, carry on working hard, and hopefully one day you'll be champion jockey, and we'd love to get you back on when you are.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Marco.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you. Bye.